What if the most heartbreaking home run in Blue Jays history just became the most valuable asset in free agency? Bo Bichette stood on baseball's biggest stage in Game 7 of the World Series and delivered a 3-run bomb off Shohei Ohtani that should have won a championship. Instead, it became a tragic preview of what Toronto is about to lose if they don't act fast. Hello, Jays Nation. Welcome to Jays Quick News, your go-to spot for the latest Toronto Blue Jays updates. Today we're breaking down the most critical decision facing this franchise, keeping Bo Bichette in Toronto after his legendary World Series performance. The Dylan Cease signing showed the Blue Jays are ready to spend, but will they invest in the homegrown hero who just put the entire baseball world on notice? Hit that subscribe button right now, because this story is moving faster than anyone expected. Let's establish the facts. On November 1st, 2025, Bo Bichette launched a 442-foot missile off Shohei Ohtani in the third inning of Game 7. The Rogers Center erupted. Toronto led 4-1. That moment should have been the beginning of the celebration, not the beginning of the heartbreak. The Blue Jays eventually lost 5-4 in 11 innings, falling one game short of their first championship since 1993. But here's what matters for free agency. Bichette delivered that performance playing on a bad left knee that kept him out since early September. He declined Toronto's qualifying offer and is now officially on the open market. And after what the world just witnessed, his value has never been higher. The Blue Jays just made the biggest free agent signing in franchise history, bringing in Dylan Cease on a 7-year, $210 million deal. That contract sends an unmistakable message. Toronto is going all in on winning now. The rotation is stacked with Cease, Kevin Gausman, Shane Bieber, Jose Barrios, and breakout rookie sensation Trey Yesavage, who went from Single-A to the World Series in one season. The pitching foundation is championship caliber. But here's the critical question. What good is elite pitching if you lose the offensive heartbeat who just proved he shows up in the biggest moments? According to MLB.com's Keegan Matheson, the signs point toward Bichette wanting to return to Toronto. He stated repeatedly he wants to stay with the organization that drafted him in 2016. He wants to keep playing alongside Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who just signed a 14-year, $500 million extension and finished the postseason with more home runs than strikeouts. The chemistry between Bichette and Guerrero isn't manufactured for cameras. It's genuine friendship that translates to on-field magic. Matheson argues Toronto holds a tiebreaker advantage because when interest is mutual and both sides want it to work, deals usually get done. That emotional connection matters, especially after coming within 2 outs of a championship together. The impact of keeping Bichette extends far beyond statistics. Yes, he hit .311 with 18 homers and 94 RBIs in 2025, bouncing back from an injury-plagued 2024. Yes, his bat plays at an elite level, even if his defense at shortstop needs work. But what you can't quantify is what he represents to this fan base after that World Series run. Over 25 million viewers in the United States alone watched Game 7, with another 10.9 million Canadians tuning in, roughly 1/4 of the entire country's population. That means millions of people watched Bo Bichette become a folk hero in real time. How do you put a price tag on that kind of cultural moment? The competitive landscape makes this decision even more urgent. Alex Bregman opted out of his Red Sox contract in October and is now in free agency, which means Boston suddenly has a massive hole at third base. Reports indicate the Red Sox are aggressively pursuing multiple big bats this offseason. If Bregman doesn't return to Boston, Bichette immediately becomes their top target. The Red Sox have money to spend and a desperate need for offensive firepower. Bichette could slide into second or third base in Boston, maximizing his offensive contributions while minimizing defensive concerns. The idea of watching him crush home runs against Toronto at Fenway Park should terrify every Blue Jays fan. But here's where the Blue Jays have leverage that no other team can match. They just went to the World Series. They have Guerrero locked up long-term. They have one of baseball's best rotations after adding Cease. They're positioned to compete for championships right now, not in 3 years when a rebuild might pay off. Bichette doesn't have to wonder if Toronto is committed to winning. They just proved it by nearly defeating a Dodgers dynasty. Other teams can offer money, But Toronto can offer the chance to finish what they started, to get those final 2 outs that slipped away in Game 7, to bring a championship back to Canada for the first time in 32 years. The financial projections suggest Bichette will command somewhere between 7 years and $180 million to 8 years and $208 million based on comparable contracts like Willy Adames, who signed for 7 years and $182 million last offseason. Bichette is younger than Adames was at signing and is a better pure hitter, though his defensive metrics lag behind. The Blue Jays have the resources to make this happen, especially with the revenue windfall from that World Series run. The question isn't whether they can afford him, it's whether they understand what losing him would cost beyond dollars. The next few weeks will define the trajectory of this franchise. The Blue Jays can either capitalize on the momentum from their magical season and keep their core together, or they can watch Bo Bichette sign elsewhere and spend years wondering what could have been. The Dylan Cease signing proved Toronto is ready to invest in winning. Now they need to prove they understand that championships are built on more than just pitching depth. They're built on guys who hit home runs off Shohei Ohtani in Game 7. Those players don't come around often, and when you find one, you don't let him walk away. What do you think, Jays Nation? Should Toronto go all in on bringing back Bo Bichette, or should they pivot to other options this offseason? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you appreciated this deep dive into the biggest decision facing our Blue Jays, smash that like button, subscribe to Jays Quick News, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We're tracking every development this winter. Thanks for watching, and let's go Blue Jays!